There are parts of southern Nevada where a wide range of wildlife roam the land. One of these places is the Spring Mountains in the Willow Creek area. I met up with Jonathan from the U.S. Forestry Service to learn more about the local inhabitants and the area.
Now, I've never been in this specific area before. I'm kind of mad at myself about that because it's so beautiful. Where exactly are we? Tell me more about this.
Yeah, a lot of people that have come to the Spring Mountains National Recreation Area have only really ever been to Kyle and Lee Canyons, and that's all they know. We're outside of the Cold Creek community here at Willow Creek, and we've only seen one other person, and it's absolutely beautiful today.
It's absolutely beautiful. It's crisp. The air is so clean. It's such a gorgeous area. Now, what about this particular creek right here? What is this?
Yeah, this is Willow Creek itself. It comes out of the mountains here and just is really a provider of life. We have all kinds of birds and animals and plants and insects, and obviously this tree.
What kind of tree is this?
This is a cottonwood. They love water, so he's in the perfect place, and obviously he's eating healthy.
That's the biggest cottonwood tree I've ever seen. It's so big, we ought to name it. This ought to be called the Jonathan tree, I think, this thing.
I don't know if I could take credit for that one. He's been here a lot longer than I have.
Hey, you talked a lot about life in this area and the animals. What animals are here?
We have all kinds. Just today we've seen deer and elk. We have wild horses, wild burros. And then as we go down, we have mountain lions, foxes, coyotes, all kinds of species of birds, even down to the smallest insects, butterflies, ants, all kinds of things.
Let's talk about if you encounter some of this wildlife, what should you not do?
I definitely say you need to give them a healthy respect. Respect their space, respect their bubble. A lot of the animals, the deer and the elk, are going to be skittish of you, and they're probably going to run if you try to approach. But the animals, more like the horses and the burros, sometimes they become habituated to people, and we want to keep people from feeding them and approaching them, obviously not trying to pet them or try, God forbid, ride them. We want to keep people, give them a nice safe distance, a safe space. Take some pictures of them is great, but definitely give them their space. And really, when you see a mother with a baby, really respect those spaces even more. They can get very protective at times.
Well, I can see a temptation too, where somebody would say, it's a wild animal, this apple is natural. That's a match.
Unfortunately, there's no apple trees around here, so it's not a natural food source for them in this ecosystem. We want to make sure that they're staying on those natural food sources, and even some of those foods that people have tried to feed them before, the animals can't process through the system and can make them very sick.
Bottom line, don't feed the animals, period.
Yeah, we just want to keep them on their natural food sources. We want people definitely to enjoy them, but enjoy them at a nice, safe distance, take pictures, and then just kind of leave them as natural as we can.
Well said. It sure is a beautiful area, isn't it?
Oh, it's gorgeous.
We started the day off in hopes of being able to see some wildlife. We ended up seeing way more than we thought possible in a day. It was fantastic. But it was as the day wrapped up and some foul weather moved in, we saw just how bad and dangerous the interaction with humans and the wildlife has gotten.
So we're coming out of the Cold Creek area, and John, what's going on here?
Unfortunately, these horses know that people in vehicles means food. They have approached our vehicles, they're approaching us, they're approaching anyone driving down the road, and they're looking for food. They're not out in the desert, in the wildlands here, eating the food that's there. They're here trying to get it from us. We had the window open a second ago, and we had a horse's head inside the vehicle.
So just to be clear, these are wild horses, and as tempting as it is to think this is a pleasant experience, it's actually kind of sad.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where not only is it bad for the animals, but we could be kicked, we could be bitten, all these things. Ideally, we want to try to stay at least 40 feet away from the animals, and a good way to think about that is the length of a school bus, but these animals won't stay 40 feet away from us. They keep coming to us, and so this is a good way to see that these animals have known that people is food, and they're not scared of us.
My question is, what about at night?
Yeah, at night, You can just imagine these animals are all on the roadway because they've been attracted to it by people feeding them in vehicles. They associate people in vehicles with food. And in the middle of the night, it's dark. You might not see them. Some of these animals are brown or black, and you may hit one. Unfortunately, we have a lot of vehicle collisions with horses and burros on our roadways here in Nevada, and it never ends up well for the animal.
Thank you for stopping to extend this shoot and do a little show and tell, because this is it. This is what you were talking about.
Yeah,
So,
this is exactly what we want to avoid, and by showing it, we hope that people can see that it does happen and it is real, and we want to protect these animals. We don't want to hurt them.
beautifully said.
Here's the thing. We all have to do our part. Yes, these are beautiful, majestic creatures, and we're used to seeing them in domestic, sport, and service roles. But these animals are wild. So please, when you see them, marvel at them from a distance and take a picture. That's something you can hold on to for a long time. It'll keep them healthy and thriving. They deserve that.